Okay, so once again, welcome to our lesson on forensic. So today, we will be dealing with drug education, or specifically the effect of dangerous drugs in a drug user, no, and drug addiction and drug abuse. Okay, so but before that, before digging yung the deeper meaning and information about drugs, let us first identify what drug is. Okay, when we say drugs, no, ano nga ba yung drugs? So when we say drugs, is any substance other than food or water is intended to be taken or administered for a purpose of altering the recipient's physical, mental, or emotional state. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, when we say drug, okay, ito yung mga substances bukod sa pagkain at tubig na intended to alter or palitan yung physical or mental, emotional state. I-mute lang natin yung ating mga participants, ha? Tapos, kung meron kayong concern, paki-chat lang dun sa chat box, no? Tanggalin ko muna yung inyong ano. Yan. Okay, so that is drugs. Now, tignan natin. Pag sinabi nating drugs, when we say drugs, are all drugs illegal? Okay, paki-type sa chat box or sa comment section below kung ano yung sagot ninyo. Okay, are all drugs illegal? So write down your answers. Yan, yes or no. Okay? So I want you to write your comments. Yan. On the comment section below. Yan. Okay? Tingnan natin kung talaga bang ang pag sinabing drugs, illegal kagad yan or baka naman hindi naman. Okay? So, bukod sa drugs, we have a term called drug abuse. Yan. Okay? So, drug abuse refers to the habitual and excessive use of drugs. Okay? Pwedeng, alam nyo, pwedeng magkaroon ng drug abuse, pwedeng ang isang drugs ay maabuso. Even the drugs itself is not actually illegal or dangerous drugs. Okay? So when we say drug abuse, it doesn't necessarily mean na itong drugs na inaabuso na ito ay illegal drugs. Kasi it's a habit of using excessive drugs. So yun yung drug abuse, inaabuso mo yung gamot, no? Hindi not necessarily kailangan yung gamot na inaabuso ay illegal drugs. Okay? So yun yung drug abuse. So it includes also both legal substances like prescription medication and illegal substances. Okay? So hindi lang illegal drugs ang naaabuso, pati yung mga legitimate prescription drugs. Okay? So, in a way that is harmful to the individual's physical and mental health as well as their social and economic well-being. Okay? So, it typically involves the use of these substances in a manner that goes beyond what is medically and socially acceptable. So, drug abuse can manifest in different various forms. Okay? So, yung drug abuse have many different forms. So, one of this is the use of legal drugs without prescription or consultation with a physician. So, this form of drug misuse and can be dangerous. It is also called misuse. No, itong form na ito is also called misuse of legal drugs. So, some legal drugs such as over-the-counter drugs. Ano ba yung over-the-counter drugs? These are drugs that are don't need a doctor's prescription para mabili mo. Okay? So, like over-the-counter drugs, medication, or non-prescription drugs are readily available in many places and are intended to be used for a specific purpose as directed on the product's label. Pero kapag ka ito ay ginamit mo, no, without a prescription sa doctor, no, in a way, this is a form of drug abuse. Diba? So isang ano diyan, common example of legal drug that is oftenly misused are over-the-counter drugs. Okay? Next is illegal drugs for a purpose different from what it is designed and prescribed. Yan. So kanina, misuse yung form of drug abuse. Ngayon naman, this form is also called off-label use of drugs. No? In a way, it is a drug abuse. Bakit? Kasi when we use legal drugs for a purpose, yung bawat medication kasi meron niyang purpose. No? For example, this particular drug or medicine is made or intended to treat a particular illness. Okay? Pero ginamit mo siya on a different illness. Halimbawa, sakit para sa ubo. Tapos ininom mo siya kasi masakit ang tiyan mo. And you feel like, oh, mukhang effective naman, okay siya. Okay? So that is off-label drug abuse. Sana sinusulat niyo yan, ano? Okay, so off-label use occurs when a medication approved by a regulatory agency for a specific medical condition or indication is used to treat another condition for a different purpose. Yan, yun yung sinasabi natin. So, tinake mo yung drug intended to treat another illness, but you take it for a different purpose or illness. Okay, so that is off-label drug abuse or form of drug abuse. And lastly, using drugs and substances without legitimate medical application or purpose. So using drugs and substances without legitimate and medical application or purpose typically involve non-medical or recreational use of these substances. In this context, legitimate medical application refers to the approved and appropriate use of drugs and substance for treating specific medical condition or symptoms under the supervision of a healthcare provider. When individuals use drugs or substances without a legitimate medical need, wala kang legitimate medical need para inumin yung drugs na yon. Okay? Or prescription, it is often called a non-medical use drug abuse. Okay? So, non-medical drug abuse. So, pag recreational use lang, okay? So, yun nga, another form of drug abuse is a recreational use. So, many people use drugs or substance to alter their consciousness, induce pleasurable sensation, or escape from reality. These are common example ng recreational use of drugs. No? So ito yung mga form of drug abuse na hindi mo naman kailangang uminom ng gamot, iinumin mo just to make you feel better or good or you feel happy. Okay? So dangerous to, no? Kasi may mga consequences yan. Especially sa health, no? May mga sample of recreational use of drugs like alcohol, marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, no? Those are recreational drugs. Okay? So those are sample of or form of drug abuse that used in recreational purposes and no definite medical purpose. Okay? So let's talk about a deeper information about drugs. Okay? So when we say drug dependence, what does it mean? Yan. Okay? So what is drug dependence? Sabi dito, a state characterized by a compulsion to use a drug to experience psychological and physical effect. So drug, we have two words here, drug dependence. Okay? So when we say dependence, nakadepende, nakasandal ka. Okay? So tingnan natin, i-analyze natin. Let us talk about more about drug dependency or dependence. So often refers to as a drug addiction. Though drug addiction is more deeper than drug dependence. Okay? So it is a complex and chronic medical condition characterized by a person's compulsive need to use drugs despite the negative consequence on their health. So ibig sabihin, even though that the drug user or the drug dependent is aware of the negative consequences on their health, relationship, and overall well-being, despite of those consequences, they will take drugs just to feel normal. Ibig sabihin, dependent nga sila doon sa drugs na yon. If they don't take drugs regularly, they feel like incomplete. They feel like things are not normal. Kaya, they take drugs. They depend on drug use. Okay? So, it is a substance use disorder and is considered a mental health issue. That is why, kapag ang isang tao ay drug dependence, kailangan na niya ng professional help. Okay? So, kailangan meron ng professional, someone that is expert in treating and rehabilitating a drug-dependent person. So, drug dependence typically involves both physical and psychological components. Okay? So, yon. So, I hope naintindihan ninyo yung drug dependence. And drug dependence doesn't mean that the drug used of a drug-dependent person is necessarily an illegal drugs. Okay? Most likely, ang nagiging drug use lang ng mga drug dependents are illegal drugs. But in some cases, there are drug users that is dependent on drugs like hindi illegal drugs, no? Kung dependent ka sa isang over-the-counter drug, no, para lang ma-feel mo na you are complete, you are in top shape, di ba? So, it is also considered a drug dependent or drug dependency. Okay? Like for example, if you are an athlete and you cannot compete even without drinking an energy drink, you feel like parang mahina ka pag wala yung na yun. Nagiging dependent ka na dun sa substance na yun. So, it can be considered a drug dependence. But energy drink is not an illegal drugs. Okay? Now, let's talk about more about drugs. So, drugs can be classified in various ways. Okay? Based on different criterias like in their pharmacological effect to the drug user, legal status, chemical structure, or medical use. So, here are some classification of drugs. Number one, pharmacological classification, like drugs can be categorized based on their pharmacological effect on the body. Okay? Next is the legal classification. So drugs can be classified based on their legal status, which varies in different countries. Siyempre, di ba, may kanya-kanya tayong mga legislation in different countries. So, of course, chemical classification. Drugs can be grouped based on their chemical structure. Okay? Another is therapeutic classification. So, some drugs can be categorized based on their medical and therapeutic use or effect. Diba? And then, it is classified also based on its origin. What is, where does this particular group of drugs came from? Yan, based on the origin. Yan. Okay, so yung legal and illegal drugs, so nandun na tayo sa legal classification. But today, no, dalawa lang yung pag-aaralan natin. I will not be discussing all of those mentioned classification of drugs. Okay? So here are the major classification of drugs. Okay? We will be learning about these two classification, the origin and the pharmacological classification of drugs. Okay, let's talk about first the origin. Thumbs up nga tayo kapag naririnig pa ako. Yan. Okay? So, let's talk about the classification based on origin. Okay? So, as far as origin of a drug is concerned, there are two origin of a drug. Number one is the natural and the other side is synthetic. So, when we say natural, it is anything comes from nature. Kaya nga nature, di ba? Sabi nga ganon, nature, natural, walang halong chemical. Okay? So, when we say natural, syempre, it doesn't have, an artificial intervention or process like manufacturing it in a laboratory. Okay? So, natural, like a marijuana. Okay? It is organic. Okay? So, all natural. So, yung synthetic naman, this type of drug classification based on origin is the exact opposite of natural. If natural is purely organic, synthetic is anything that produced artificially for the purpose or produced inside a laboratory. Ibig sabihin, may human and technological intervention ito. Okay? So, natural and synthetic. Yan. Okay? And let's now proceed to pharmacological classification. So, drug can be categorized based on their pharmacological effect on their body of the user. No? So, commonly categorized, this includes, no? Number one, stimulant, depressant, number two, and number three is hallucinogen. Ano ba yung stimulant? Okay, from the word stimulate. So, this drug can increase alertness, can increase energy, and cognitive function. Okay? So, kaya nga tinatawag itong uppers. It gives the central nervous system the excitement. It excites the central nervous system. Kaya gising na gising yung mga drug user ng mga stimulant drugs. So, ano yung mga sample ng mga stimulant drugs? No? Shabu is one of the number one example of stimulant drugs. Kaya nga yung mga nagsashabu, yung mga drug user ng shabu, di ba? Ang sabi nila, 3 to 5 days, kahit walang tulog, kayang-kaya nila. No? Dilat na dilat sila. Yan. Okay? Next is the depressant. So, from the word depress, ano ba yung naisip niyo kapag depress ang word na naririnig niyo? So, what comes first in your mind? Okay, when you heard the word depress. Kaya nga stimulant uppers, si depressant naman opposite, no? Downers. So pag sinabi nating depressant, these are drugs that reduce the central nervous system activity. So ito naman yung parang nanghihina ka. Okay? that leads to relaxation. Yan. Okay? The problem is for some drug users who had experienced overdose, taken an overdosage of depressant drugs. No, sa sobrang relax nila, yung muscle nila nag-relax, pati yung pagdumi nila, pag-ihi nila, hindi nila ma-control, no? Bigla na lang mawawalan sila ng malay, then lalabas yon. Okay? So, ganun yung effect niyan sa katawan ng tao. The next is the hallucinogen drugs or psychedelic drugs. Okay? So, most likely, basically, no, yung psychedelic drugs is a subgroup of hallucinogen drugs. But basically, pareho lang naman sila. No? So, these drugs can gives the user an alteration of perspection, thoughts, and feelings. So, hallucinogen, hallucinate. No? It gives the user hallucination. So, parang the drug user, meron silang nakikita hindi naman nag-exist. They hallucinate. Okay? What else? May naririnig silang hindi naman, wala naman na dapat marinig. Pero may naririnig sila. Kaya nga, di ba, may mga drug cases, crimes tayo, crimes na drug-related, na minasakar yung isang family. It's because meron daw bumubulong sa kanya. Mga ganon. So, these are some effect, no, sa isang drug user na who use hallucinogen drugs. Okay? So, one sample niyan is the cannabis sativa or marijuana. Yan. Okay? And hashish. Okay? So, these three categories are categories of pharmacological classification of drugs. Yan. Now, we've learned about where does the classification on drugs based on its origin and pharmacological effect. Now, let's try to look at how does drugs is being taken. Yan. Okay? So how can drugs can be taken in various ways? No? Tingnan natin kung paano siya ina-administer. When we say drug administration, hindi yung administration na alam natin, ano? So when we say administration, it's in the context of drugs. Okay? Ito yung kung paano mo siya tinitake, paano siya na-i-introduce sa loob ng katawan at na-absorb ng bloodstream. Okay? And nagkakaroon ng effect sa human body. So how does drugs are taken? So drug can be taken in various ways depending on the type of drug, its formulation, and its desired effect. Siyempre, di ba? Anong type ng drug yung i-take mo? Ano ba yung formulation niyan? In a liquid form ba siya? Solid form? Or in a, ano ba to? Smoke form? Okay, so tingnan natin what are the different ways on how the drug is being taken. So number one, okay, some drug, particularly those that act on respiratory system or provide rapid effect, are administered through inhalation, like smoking. Diba? It goes to the lungs and then rapidly absorbed into the bloodstream. So this can include smoking, vaping, use of inhalers. Okay? So sample niyan, number one, chat nyo nga sa chat box, ano yung example ng isang drug na in-inhale or by using smoke? Do you think? Okay, so marijuana, di ba? So yung marijuana is one of example, no, of drug using inhalation. Okay? Next is yan, snorting. Okay? So kung si marijuana, smoking, no, inhalation, yung some example naman of drug that is administered through snorting is cocaine. Okay? So yung cocaine, nagbibigay siya ng ano to, ng isang way of taking it inside the body is through snorting using the nose. Diba? Bakit yung cocaine snort pero yung shabu hindi? Kasi 'di ba, yung shabu like for example, yung shabu no, yung texture niya ay brittle. So parang medyo may matalim 'yan. Unlike the cocaine, medyo powdery 'yan. So yung shabu kapag yan ay in-administer through snorting, medyo masakit yan sa ilong. Yan. So snorting chemical will enter the bloodstream through mucous membrane in the nose. Okay? Next is the oral route. Yan, swallowing, no, through from the mouth going to the digestive system. So the drug is ingested through the mouth and travels to the digestive system. It can be in a form of mga pills, capsule, tablets, or liquid. Okay? Yan. Okay, so this method includes swallowing a medication with water or other beverages. Siyempre, di ba, yung minsan kailangan may panula ka. Di ba, pag iinom ka ng gamot. Next is injection. Yan. Drugs can be administered by injection directly into the blood stream, pwede sa muscle, or even in just under the skin. Yan. Okay? So, injection. Okay, para mas mabilis din yung effect nung drugs dun sa drug user. Yan. So, injection ang usually ginagamit nila. Yan. And yung next natin na way of taking or administering drugs in a human body, yan, okay? Through rectal administration. So, ano yung rectal administration? Okay? So, medication can be inserted into the rectum in the form of suppository. Okay? So, this method is used when oral administration is not possible. Bawa, di ba? Hindi siya makalunok, hindi siya, at saka mabagal kasi pagka sa digestive system, kailangan pang i-digest yun. Okay? So, yung rectal administration gives also the user the rapid absorption of the drugs into the body. Okay? So, yan yun. No? Rectal administration. Okay? Yan. So, let's learn more about drugs. No? And specifically, let's learn about the drug abuse here in the Philippines. Okay, in the Philippine setting, the drug abuse or abuse of drugs has been a significant concerning issue for several years. Some of the commonly abused drugs here in the Philippines include, number one, of course, shabu. Okay, so still shabu is the number one choice of Filipino drug user in the country. Next in shabu is marijuana. Okay, cannabis sativa or marijuana. Although not as commonly abused as methamphetamine hydrochloride or shabu, marijuana is used recreationally in the Philippines. The cultivation and sale of marijuana are illegal here in our country. Okay, and number three, of course, ecstasy. Okay, so ecstasy is the popular party drugs in some urban areas. So yung ecstasy is also known as a party drugs. So it is also often used in nightclubs and rave setting. So most likely kung i-recall natin, there are some events here in the Philippines, especially in concerts and party places, that ecstasy became the main reason of death in party places and concerts. Yan. So these three illegal drugs are the top three drug abuse here in the country. Okay? So, tingnan natin yung tatlong to. Shabu or methamphetamine hydrochloride. So, it is known to be called shabu. So, ano yung tsura niyan? So, number one, parang it is a crystal-like substance, powdered white crystalline substance. Sometimes, may color yan. Okay? Yung iba naman, bukod sa smoking, ang kanilang form of administration, sometimes it is oral. They put it in a capsule. Okay? So, it is also called tawas. Yan. Okay? And yung iba naman, i-dissolve yan into a liquid, then, using a syringe, they will inject it directly to their bloodstream. Okay? Locally known as, yun nga, shabu, no? It's a crystal meth. So, it's one of the most prevalent and widely abused drugs here in the Philippines. It is oftenly imported illegally, no? So, may mga maraming cases of contrabands intercepted in our seaport and airport, no? With the help, of course, of all law enforcement agencies in the country, no? And also, it is manufactured, some are manufactured domestically in clandestine laboratories. Yan. Okay? So, since napag-usapan na natin yung manufacturing of shabu, here are some ingredients in making shabu. Ayan, para hindi na kayo mahirapan. Ito na. Ingredients of shabu. Tingnan natin, no? So, meron dyan ephedrine. Yan, so pseudoephedrine. Sodium hydroxide, no? Muriatic acid. Sodium metal. Yan, no? Ayan na yung mga ingredients. Gawa na kayo. Subukan nyo. Alcohol, acetone, toluene. Yan, no? Ether batteries or ether yung engine starter, sulfuric acid, no? Chloroform, ang dami, no? Lithium batteries, iodine, di ba? So pag nakagawa kayo, sabihin niyo sa akin, para magpasalamat kayo sa akin, tapos magkita-kita tayo, no? Tingnan natin pag nagkita-kita tayo. So yan, subukan niyo, gumawa kayo. Pero to be seriously, no? Bakit ko pinapakita yung ingredients ng shabu? Kaya mahal yan. Kaya ganyan yung ingredients niyan. Bakit ko pinapakita? Hindi para bigyan kayo ng ideas na makagawa. Pero to give you an overview what chemicals and substances are being taken when a drug user takes shabu inside their body. Okay? In this list, meron ba ditong pwedeng kainin, pwedeng inumin? Meron ba dyan pwedeng, obviously, di ba, lahat yan nakakalasod. Lahat yan harmful. And even pag ininom mo ang isa dyan, automatic, instant death ang makukuha mo. Okay? So, can you imagine if a person who uses drugs takes shabu on a regular basis? Di ba? So, those are the things that they are injecting or taking inside their body. No? And because of those harmful substances, there are adverse effects and consequences mentally, psychologically, so even in medical health condition. So isa sa mga number one na common side effect or symptoms associated with shabu using, the use of shabu, okay, is what we call meth bug or meth source. Okay? So as you can see, no, it's a skin condition, no, developed due to the use of methamphetamine hydrochloride. So it is a powerful nervous system stimulant, yung methamphetamine hydrochloride, also known sa shabu, as I have discussed a while ago. It is used, its use can have various or adverse effect in the body, including development of skin irritated issues or skin-related issues, I mean. Okay? It is essential to understand that methamphetamine use has numerous harmful effects in physical and mental health, including damage to the skin. So makikita niyo po sa picture, no? So ganyan katindi ang meth bug. So meth use can also lead to addiction because of its addictive property. So cognitive impairment, yan, cardiovascular issues, and mental health problems. So seeking treatment for methamphetamine addiction and its associated health consequences is crucial for those affected by this substance or substance abuse. Okay? So treatment often involves medical and psychological support to address the addiction, as well as any physical or mental health issues that have resulted for drug use. Yan. Okay, so yan po yung meth bug. Ha? Ito naman yung meth mouth. Yan. Okay, meth mouth. Yan. Okay? Tingnan nyo yung mga ngipin ng mga katabi ninyo. Sa tingnan nyo. Ngiti, smile. Oh, wag kayong judgmental. Ha? Baka makakita lang kayo ng sirang ngipin, sasabihin nyo, drug addict na. Wag ganun. Okay? Joke lang. Pero, meth mouth, it is a term used to describe the severe oral health problem oftenly associated with methamphetamine use. Yan. Meth mouth is characterized by extensive dental issue, including tooth decays, gum diseases, and significant damage to oral tissues. Yan. Okay? So, yan yung meth mouth. Oh. Diba? Yan. Oh. Yan pa yung mga grabe, diba? And even some Hollywood personalities, no, nakitaan ng meth mouth. Okay? So yan yung mga some adverse effect of using methamphetamine hydrochloride, also known as shabu. Okay, let's go to marijuana or cannabis sativa. So marijuana, similar to dried parsley o yung kinchay, with stems or seeds rolls into cigarette or cigars. So oftenly, it is taken by through smoking. Okay, yung dry leaves niya gagawing cigarette. Or taken orally. Ano yun? Kakain ka ng damo. Okay? So, because some marijuanas are being mixed with other foods. Okay? Minsan binibake yan like brownies, diba? Or pastries. Although not as commonly abused as shabu, marijuana is used recreationally in the Philippines, here in our country. The cultivation and sale of marijuana are illegal here in the Philippines. Kaya wag na nating ipilit na for medicinal purpose lang. Wala pa pong batas sa atin sa Pilipinas ngayon ang nagsasabi na for medicinal purpose, pwede ang marijuana. But generally, possession and use of marijuana is illegal here in the Philippines. Okay? So, some other names or terms used in marijuana. Yan. Kasi yung iba dyan, pot, ang tawag, damo, grass, weeds, dope, yan, MJ, yan, jutes, chonky, Ano? Si Mary Jane, yan. Ganja, Dubi, Semsimilia, Veggies, or two joints daw. Hindi kasama doon. Okay, or 420, 420. Ayan, narinig nyo na ba yung 420 na yan? Okay? So, pag sinabing 420, ibig sabihin, meron palang marijuana activity dyan sa area na yan. So, paano ba yung historical background nitong 420 in connection in relation with the use of marijuana? So, the term 420 has become closely associated with marijuana culture. Yan, di ba? And it is often used to refer to the consumption of marijuana or cannabis or to identify with the cannabis subculture. Diba? So the history of 420 and its association with marijuana has several origin stories. Maraming mga stories about the association of the word 420 kay marijuana. Pero ito yung pinaka number one, no? One of the most widely accepted or significant origin story of 420. Yan. So yung 420 daw dates back in a group of high school. There is a group of high school students in San Rafael, California. Saan ba yung California? Okay, sa USA. In the early 1970s, the students who called themselves the Waldos, okay, the group of Waldos, used to meet at 4:20 p.m. after school. Every 4 p.m. ng hapon, nagmi-meet sila after school to search for a humored hidden cannabis crops in a Point Reyes forest. Yan. So, yun pala yung 420. Kaya, sometimes, di ba, may makikita kang mga lugar dyan, may nakasulat 420. Ingat ka dyan. Baka may marijuana dyan. Okay? So, yung forest na yan, allegedly, okay, may rumored na may mga nakatanim na marijuana dun sa area. Kaya every 420, yung mga group of Waldos, students in San Rafael, California, they gathered together to search for the cannabis in the Point Reyes forest. Okay? So they choose 420, the word 420 as their secret code for marijuana. And it eventually became widely recognized term. Yan. Okay? So yan yung historical background of the word 420 in association with marijuana. No? Yan. Some pictures of different species and figures of marijuana. What are the effects of marijuana use? Yan. Okay? So here are some effects. No? Impairment of short-term memory and cognitive function, particularly of mathematics, in reading, comprehension, and verbal skills. Okay? Meron ding impairment in motor skills. Diba? Minsan, baka hirap lang talaga magsayaw, ha? Paulitin ko, bawal ang judgmental sa atin. Okay? Sa mga listeners natin. Okay? So, baka hirap lang magsayaw. Okay? Pero huwag tayong judgmental na dahil lang matigas ang katawan, di makasayaw, makasunod, sabihin nyo na marijuana user. Okay? Pero one side effect is the impairment of motor skills that can lead to accident. Okay? Respiratory problems such as bronchitis and lung cancer dahil nga, di ba, smoking yan eh. So premature babies para dun sa mga nagpo-pregnant then still using marijuana. Okay? Or yung bago siya mag-conceive, they used to take marijuana, okay? Then panic or state of anxiety sometimes accompanied with paranoia. Okay, kasi nga 'di ba hallucinogen 'di ba sa pharmacological classification natin kanina, marijuana is one of the sample of hallucinogen drugs. So it gives the user the hallucination of being in danger. Okay, nagkakaroon siya ng paranoia. Okay, then burnout, okay? The user can become dull, slow moving, inactive, okay? O baka naman tinatamad na. Once again, wag tayong judgmental. Okay? O yan, para sa mga lalaki, reduce in sperm production. Okay? So, reduce in testosterone level among pre-teenagers boys. And symptoms of mental illness or psychosis. Yan. Okay? Okay, so for the information of everyone, ang alam kasi natin, no, yung marijuana is isang ano lang, yung may leaves lang na gano'n ang itsura. Okay, but most likely, marijuana has different what you call it, species. Okay, and more be let's learn more about cannabis sativa okay this time. So the cannabis sativa or marijuana has also what we call trichomes. Okay, so trichomes are small hair-like structures found in the surface of various plants, including marijuana. Okay, para saan tong trichomes na yan? Okay, if you look at a marijuana in a microscope, makikita nyo yung parang small hair-like structure na yan. Okay? So many other plant species like marijuana has trichomes. So trichomes serve various function. It plays important roles or significant roles in plants life cycle. Okay? Number one dyan is trichomes serve as their protection. Okay? One function of trichomes is a defense mechanism for plants. They act as physical barriers, making it difficult for herbivores and insects to feed on the plant. Yan, di ba? So, yan yung kanyang isa sa mga function. Then, syempre, it also reduce water loss. Di ba? Alam natin lahat for photosynthesis. Di ba? The plants used to get sunlight from the sun and water, of course. So, para magkaroon siya ng photosynthesis. So, kailangan niya ng tubig. So, yung trichomes, nire-reduce niya yung water loss ng isang plant. Then, it regulates also temperature. Okay, the trichomes regulates temperature by reflecting excess sunlight and providing shade to the plant. Okay, so that is trichomes. Next is yan. Black widow. So, another variant yan ng isang cannabis sativa o marijuana. It is a strain of marijuana also known as black. So sometimes yung black minsan white widow din siya. No, black widow or white widow. It is highly regarded and well-known hybrid. Yan ang hybrid marijuana or cannabis strain. Okay, so hybrid yan. So this strain creates a crossing by crossing Brazilian sativa and South Indian indica strain. Diba? So yung Brazilian sativa, parang nag-crossbreed sila with the South Indian indica. So kaya nagkaroon ng Black Widow. It was first developed in the Netherlands in 1990s. Yan ha. Take note of the dates. Ha? Very important yan. Okay. So, yung appearance ng Black Widow is most likely yung buds niya with a white. White yung buds niya. Frosty coating. Yung trichomes niya, no? Parang frosty ang coating. Which gives it the name of White Widow. Kaya nga may puti-puti siya. Okay? So this strain of marijuana has a earthly aroma with a hint of sweetness. So ganun yung amoy niya, no? Kaya medyo mas sikat yan compared dun sa ibang species of marijuana. Okay? Mas, syempre yung scent niya, it helps the user to enjoy more taking cannabis sativa smoking. Okay? Next is yung purple haze. Yan. Okay, yung purple haze. So it is a famous and iconic cannabis strain. Yan. Yung purple haze. Known for its unique appearance, aroma, and effect. It's often associated with counterculture in 1960s and music of Jim Hendrix, who released the song titled Purple Haze in 1967. Yan. So yung Purple Haze na yan is known for its sweet, earthly, and slightly fruity aroma. So parang yung si Black and White Widow din pala siya. Okay? Yan, okay. So, yung Purple Haze, tulad ng sinabi natin kanina, no? So, it is a famous and iconic cannabis strain. Okay? So, noong 1960s. Okay, next is the Blueberry Kush. Yan, okay? So, Blueberry Kush is a popular, well-known cannabis strain with reputation for its sweet aroma, relaxing effect. Yan. Gusto nyo ma-relax, yan ang hanapin ninyo, Blueberry Kush. Okay? Huwag lang kayo magpakita sa amin. Okay, so typically has a moderate to high tetrahydrocannabinol, okay, or THC content. Often range from 18% to 24% or higher, depending on its specific genetic and growing condition. Okay? So yung Blueberry Kush can be suitable for indoor and outdoor cultivation. Kaya 'di ba may mga kush tayong na mababalitaan na nahuli sa indoor, no? Na nasa condominium, apartments, no? And just using artificial sunlight. So the plant are generally of medium height, kaya pwede siya sa indoor, and have a flowering time around 8 to 9 weeks. Yan. Okay, so mabilis din siyang tumubo. Yan. Okay. Next naman, ito ay ang tinatawag nating white rhino. Yan. So it is a cannabis strain that is known for its potency and distinct effect such as deep relaxation, body heaviness, okay, parang mabigat ang katawan, and a sense of euphoria, yung parang napakasaya-saya mo, sobrang saya. Yan. It is commonly used for evening and nighttime use due to its calming and stress-reducing properties. It is not typically associated with cerebral and energizing effect kasi baligtad yun. Yan yung white rhino. Yan. Next naman, yan ang Jack Frost and Northern Lights. Mga pictures ng different additional species ng marijuana. Okay? Now, let's talk about more on marijuana. Yan. So, marijuana has a delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol. So, this substance caused the user the hallucination, which could eventually lead to psychosis. Yan. So, it is the primary psychoactive compound found in cannabis, itong delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol or THC. Ito yung responsible for its psychoactive effect for the user. No? And mind-altering effect commonly associated with marijuana use. Okay? So the common side effect of delta-9 THC, hindi TLC, tender loving term. THC, tetrahydrocannabinol. Use include dry mouth, dry eyes, increased heart rate, yan, impaired coordination, and memory and concentration issues. Yan, yung mga side effect niyan. In some cases, excessive use can lead to anxiety, paranoia, psychotic symptoms, no? Nagkakaroon na ng parang sira yung kanyang isip. It's important to note that tetrahydrocannabinol is just one of many cannabinoids found in cannabis. So each cannabis can have unique effect and potential therapeutic application, no? Pero let's not focus on its therapeutic properties because research shows that the high level of delta-9 hydrocannabinol can inflict more harm to the user than its therapeutic effect. No, mas marami pa rin yung harm na kaya niyang ibigay kaysa compared doon sa benefit na makukuha mo in using cannabis sativa. Okay? So, yun. So, let's be informed that may mga batas tayo, local laws like the RA 9165, also known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002, no? That prohibits any person the use of any parts of the plant, no, ng marijuana. Any parts, ibig sabihin kasama doon ang ugat, no, dahon, buto, any parts. And use of this plant is liable in court. Yan. Okay, so that is for marijuana. Okay. Next is ecstasy or MDMA. So usually they are in tablets, in form tablets. Kaya they are taking it through oral or sometimes yung sinabi natin, yung rectal administration. Okay? So it is a synthetic psychoactive drug that is chemically similar to both stimulant and hallucinogen. Yan, di ba? So upper din yan and psychedelic drug. It is commonly known to be called ecstasy, pero sometimes molly ang tawag din dyan. So when sold in its pure crystalline form, molly. Kumbaga high grade siya pag molly. Okay, so yung MDMA is known for its stimulant and empathogenic effect, no, which can lead to increased feelings of emotional closeness and empathy. Yan. As well as heightened sensory perception. Okay. So here are some short term effect of using ecstasy. Okay, and here are long-term effects. Okay. Yan, di ba? Okay, so now here in the Philippines, we have found a new type of drugs. It's called Fly High, also a party drug. So it's an ecstasy mixed with shabu and Chinese Viagra. No, so this Fly High, also known as Superman in local parties, no, party places. So this drug is a dangerous cocktail of ecstasy, diba? Mixed with shabu and Chinese Viagra. So yung Chinese Viagra is a drug used to treat erectile dysfunction, yung mga hindi na tumatayo. Okay, so yung Fly High has a harmful effect on the user which lasts up to several days. And so in some cases, itong Fly High na ito can lead to instant death to the drug user. No? So mabilis ang kanyang yung effect niyan dun sa drug user, no? Instant death. Okay? Hi, as I have said, it's a mixture of ecstasy and shabu and mixed with Chinese Viagra. So Chinese Viagra is a medication used for erectile dysfunction. Okay. So another newfound drugs is what we call GHB or yung gamma hydroxybutyrate acid, no? So this type of drug, GHB, no, is a downer type of drug. Okay? It is usually available as a clear in liquid. It is known as a designer drug. Okay, so this drug is also known as to be called as rape or date drug or rape drug, no? Or its potential to become a substance used to intoxicate a victim. Okay? So this is very dangerous, no? Dahil this type of drug is tasteless, colorless, and odorless, no? Hindi mo mapapansin yung substance na ito pag hinalo sa inumin mo. Even sa water lang yan, sa mineral water na iinumin mo. And what makes it more dangerous, this GHB or rape drug, no, is found to be have an effect to the memory loss of a victim. Ibig sabihin, nagkakaroon ng memory loss yung victim kapag siya ang na-intoxicate nito. So, ibig sabihin, after siyang mawalan ng malay at magawan ng masama ng kanyang mga mapagsamantala, okay, pagkagising niya, she or he will not remember kung sino yun kasama niya at anong nangyari on the previous night. No? So, wala siyang malay kung anong nangyari at saka kung sino kasama niya. Okay? So, GHB is also called X, Liquid E, Georgia Homeboy, no? Juice, Meals, Liquid G, Fantasy in most bars and clubs. So, lalo na sa mga kababaihan, okay? At syempre, hindi lang naman kababaihan ang pwedeng magbiktima, no? Kasi kaming mga kalalakihan, potential din kaming mga victims, no? Lalo na kapag yung halimbawa, hindi lang naman din kasi in rape cases, pag nawalan ka ng malay, pwede kang manakawan, di ba? So, ganon. But this GHB, in most cases na found dito, it's more on rape cases. Kaya nga yung other term sa kanya is rape drug. Okay? So, I think that's we have enough for drug identification. But let's talk about more about drug addiction. Okay? So what happened to the brain when a person used illegal drugs? What happened? What do you think happened? No? What happened to a human brain when a person used drugs? Yan. Ano nangyayari sa brain ng tao kapag gumagamit daw tayo ng illegal drugs or dangerous drugs? Yan. So this is drug user's brain. Yan. Okay? So, as you can see, ang normal brain ng isang tao, walang mga black spots like that. So, yung mga black areas na yan, yung mga black spots, okay, so those are called necrosis. So, necrosis is a type of cell death that occurs as a result of damage or injury or disease in a brain or tissue. It is a pathological process where cell in living tissues died prematurely. Yan, di ba? So necrosis can be a result from various factors like physical injury, infection, and toxin. So in most drug cases, yung toxin, no, it is commonly it is common that drug user develop necrosis doon sa kanyang brain because of lack of blood supply or yung ischemia. Yeah. Yan. Okay, so what happened? So let us see more for brain ng isang drug user. So as we can see, ito po ay isang CT scan, okay, ng isang brain activity. Yung isa, CT scan ng isang brain ng isang normal person, no, that doesn't use drugs, and yung isa naman cocaine addict. So yung mga glowing colors, no, na nakikita nyo, those are brain activities. Okay, and as you can see, in compare to a normal CT scan brain, no, ng CT scan, yung cocaine addict halos wala na siyang brain activities. Okay, so yan po yung comparative image natin of normal brain scan of a normal person compared to a cocaine addict person. So what happened to the brain when a person takes drugs? Ano ba yung nangyayari? No? So most illegal drugs affects the brain reward circuit by flooding it with the chemical messenger called dopamine. Ulitin ko. Most illegal drugs affect the brain's reward circuit. Okay, may reward circuit kasi yung brain natin. Ibig sabihin ng reward circuit, when your behavior is good, di ba? You feel like you feel good. That is your reward. You feel better. Okay? If you experience something good, okay, ang reward doon, you feel fulfilled or satisfied. Okay? That is your reward. So when a person takes illegal drugs as an effect on its brain, no, the brain is being flooded with the chemical messenger called dopamine. Okay, dopamine. So yung dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Okay, so alam natin lahat that the brain is the parang CPU ng tao, ng body ng tao. Yan, nandyan lahat. No? Ngayon, may mga chemicals dyan na dumadaan. Okay? Pwedeng para to control our psychomotor, our speech, no? To interpret what we see, what we feel, what we hear. Okay? So now, dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Okay? It's a chemical messenger that tells the brain that what you have experienced is good. Okay? And as a reward, you feel good. You feel fulfilled. Okay? Which this is a type of chemical messenger that plays a crucial role in the brain and the central nervous system. No? It is involved in several important functions, including mood regulation. Mood mo. No? Kapag bad mood ka, okay, you do something about your mood, then your dopamine will tells to your brain that okay ka na. Okay? Pleasure and reward, movement, and the regulation of various cognitive process. So that is dopamine. Okay? Pagka may kinain ka, it tastes good. Sabihin ng dopamine mo sa brain mo that this food is very delicious, it's satisfying, so masasatisfy ka. Okay? So that is one function of dopamine. So this reward system controls the body's ability to feel pleasure and motivates the person to repeat the behavior needed to feel the pleasure again. Ulitin ko, this reward system, no, it controls the body's ability to feel pleasure. So when, like for example, yung sinasabi ko kanina, no, pag kumain ka, delicious yun, masarap, okay? It tells you that this food is delicious. Okay? So that every time makikita mo yung pagkain na yun, it motivates you to eat again that particular delicacy. Because alam mo na, you have that kind of experience that this food is delicious. Okay? Yun paulit-ulit. Like for example, eating a hamburger. Okay? So, the first time you ate a hamburger na masarap, okay? You feel satisfied. Okay? So, every time you became hungry and you see a burger, no? Alam mo na masarap 'yun, and you can now repeat the behavior, the action of eating the hamburger for you to be satisfied. Okay? It's because of your dopamine. No? Kasi sinabi ni dopamine na yung nalasahan mo, yung burger na yun, masarap. So, it gives you the ability to repeat the action. It invites you to eat again the burger. Same goes with using illegal drugs. The first time that you use an illegal drugs or dangerous drugs may be voluntarily. Eh, just like yung burger, di ba? Kung ayaw mo talaga ng burger, kahit isubo sa'yo yan, iluluwa mo yan. Okay? Ganon din yung illegal drugs. Decision yon ng mga first-time drug user. Di ba? Decision niya yon na i-take yung illegal drugs na yon. Now, that illegal drugs was taken by a drug user, ganon din yung gagawin niya ng dopamine. Ang problema, no, ifa-flood niya yung brain ng dopamine, mag-overload ng dopamine. So talagang kaya yung mga drug user, they feel the high level of euphoria and fulfillment. Kaya sobrang, di ba, expression nila heaven. Sobrang sarap. Sobrang satisfying. Na nakakalimutan nila that it's so satisfying, they even forget who they are, the problem they encountered, etc. Okay? So dahil masarap, they will repeat the action of taking illegal drugs. And that repeated action of taking illegal drugs, that will lead to drug addiction. Okay? Again, that repeated repeatedly yung kanyang behavior of taking illegal drugs, it will become drug addiction. And what is drug addiction? Pag pinag-usapan natin ang drug addiction, it is a condition characterized by drug-seeking urges that is difficult to control despite of its harmful consequences. Ang drug addict, alam nila yung consequence of taking illegal drugs. Kasi most of drug addicts, nagsasuffer na sila doon sa consequences na yon. But they loses the ability to control the urge of taking the harmful substance. So initially, the decision to take drugs is voluntarily. Most of the people who uses drugs, no, repeatedly lead to brain changes. No? Nagbabago yung ability ng brain nila to control themselves. And this challenge an addicted person's self-control and interfere with their ability to resist the intense urge of taking the drug. And that is drug addiction. My question, bukod sa drugs, is there any addiction sa mga human there are possible addiction bukod sa drugs? Meron ba? Paki-chat nga sa ating comment section. Ha? Bukod sa drugs, possible ba na meron din ibang form of addiction? Yan, meron daw. Sige nga, i-type ninyo sa comment section below. Bukod sa drugs, ha? Bukod sa drugs. Gambling. Okay? Gambling, alcohol, okay, cigarette, sex addiction, yeah. It can be a form of addiction. Pwede rin addict sa kanya. Okay? Basta yung self-control, no, yung person's ability to control yourself on that intense urge to do something that affects na yung lifestyle mo, it is an addiction. Okay? Even gadgets. Kape. Okay? But since this is a drug education, no? So drug addiction is defined as this, no? So luckily, we have now informations like this, okay? Because we believe that proper education can lead us to prevention, no? So now we are now educated, no, about the effect of illegal drugs, how it is used, how it is being abused, and how a person became an addict in drugs, no? So most likely, somehow we are equipped on how we will discourage people to use illegal drugs. Okay? So I hope this education will lead us, no? This information will lead us to proper behavior towards illegal drugs. Bakit? Kasi when we hook ourselves in the use of illegal drugs or even in illegal drug activities, tatlong lugar lang yung pwede natin puntahan. Okay? So, mamimili tayo. Which one of the 3 places na pwede nating puntahan? If we choose illegal drugs, no? Number 1, pwede kang magkaroon ng bahay at lupa. Okay? Bahay at lupa. No? Bakit? Medyo maliit nga lang, pero pwede na. Kasya ka naman. Okay? Bahay at lupa. Yan. Okay? If you choose illegal drugs, you will find yourself 6 feet below the ground. Bahay at lupa. Okay? Sa sementeryo. Because doon lang tayo dadalhin ng illegal drugs. No? Sa kamatayan. Kung hindi ka naman, medyo maswerte ka, you will find yourself in a place na very safe ka. Kasi meron kang 24 hours and 7 days security. No? Yan. You will find yourself behind bars. O kaya naman, kung medyo mas maswerte ka, meron ding 24/7 security, libre din pagkain, may extra jacket ka pa. Yung jacket na yon, medyo mahaba lang yung mga manggas, nakapalibot dito, sa shoulder, sa arms, no? Sa mental hospital. So, 3 lang yung pwede mong puntahan if you choose to involve yourself in illegal drugs. Okay? Yan. Kaya, kung ayaw mo dyan, Syempre, di ba? So, don't involve yourself in illegal drugs. So, sabi nga gano'n ni Edridge Cleaver, you are either part of the solution or you are part of the problem. Ha? Kung you are not part of the solution, you might be part of the problem. So, doon na tayo sa solution. Okay? Huwag na tayong sumama doon sa problem. Okay? So, with that, I hope you learn a lot tonight with our lesson. And I'll see you again. Thank you very much.